This is the Banks Insider News for the week of March 13th, 2020. I'm Jay, and here's the scoop on what's going down here at Banks. In the latest unboxing video, Gail reveals the newest addition to Banks Dyno Cells 1 and 2, $400 fuel filters. Yes, that's right, $400 each. Gail explains how the Parker Raycor 3250R fuel filter water separators work and why they're a critical ingredient for engine evaluation and product development in Banks Dyno Cells. First off, they're huge.
That's what she said.
But their size is not why they're great. It's all about the filter media inside the S3207T filter canister. The multi-layer composite material is so fine that there are thousands of square meters of surface area in just 1 square inch. To catch a new unboxing episode every Wednesday, simply subscribe to our YouTube channel or Facebook feed. This week's R&D update is all about air density as the Banks engineering team instruments a 2019 RAM to fingerprint the stock components while running tests both on highway and on the dyno. Say what? If you're going to design new parts, you have to know how the stock ones perform. You gotta know everything about them, or how are you gonna beat them? The team uses an iDash DataMonster, which receives and records data from an AirMouse ambient air density sensor, along with Banks analog modules and thermocouple modules. Analog modules take data from sensors like pressure sensors and converts them into digital data, which then gets sent to the iDash. Same thing goes for the thermocouple modules. Temp sensors send analog signals to the thermocouple module, which then converts it to ones and zeros before sending it to the iDash. But we're not just testing stock parts. We're also testing competitors. We put them through the same tests. Before designing every single part, we have to know how to beat it. Now, that often means we're a little bit slow to get new products into your hands. We know that, and it blows.
Do it! Do it! Come on!
But it's worth the wait. In our fan focus, we take a look at Michael Ellis's 2018 Duramax Chevy Silverado 2500 HD. The Air Force aircraft mechanic has been on a mission to fully customize his rig in what little spare time he has. And by the way, Michael, thanks for your service. It all started off with the addition of his bronze method wheels. Now, Michael set out to add more of that bronze to his truck by wrapping his shocks and powder coating a bunch of stuff on his rig, including the Banks Ram Air differential cover. He does have some firepower to go with the looks though. The L5P sports an iDash DataMonster and a Derringer combo, which adds 112 pound-feet of torque. He says he loves the added power that the Derringer supplies, as well as the iDash's never-ending amount of information and customization. And he says it's way better than his old edge screen. Ouch. For our dealer spotlight, we chat with Tristan Raymer, owner of Lock Performance, who continues his family's tradition of being a third-generation mechanic. What's made Lock Performance so popular in Napanee, Indiana? He says it all boils down to taking care of your customers, and really, that should be first and foremost in any business. And they also know a thing or two about diesel performance. They've been racing their 1400 horsepower pull truck competitively for years. So your little 450 horsepower pickup, that ain't no thing but a chicken wing. The only tool you'll need, that's the name of DIYer Ryan Mayer's latest video. As those who follow his popular YouTube channel know, the stars of the show were actually his lime green Ram 6.7 and his lime green Hellcat. Although there's a fair amount of data displayed on both dashboards, they're no match for the iDash DataMonster or iDash SuperGauge. There are plenty of temps, pressures, and voltages that in many cases, auto manufacturers either don't think you need to see or don't want you to see. Frankly, they just want you to drive in bliss, not really knowing what's going on, outside of some basic idiot lights. That's where the iDash comes in. Not only can you see all of the data you'd expect, but there are hundreds of parameters to help you keep an eye on your engine and trans. You can evaluate your turbo, your intercooler, your air intake system with various groups of air density parameters found on no other gauge on the planet. Trans slip, ethanol content, boost manifold air density, and the list goes on for days. You got a trouble code or check engine light? Read and clear the codes right from the iDash. And as Ryan turns his Hellcat into a real racer and his Ram into a bigger beast, data acquisition becomes imperative. What's happening inside his engine and trans? For the first time, he'll actually know. For our real review, we check in with Russ Woolenwaber, who just dyno tested his 2020 GMC AT4 3500 Duramax last week. I'm out of breath. Averaging a dozen plus runs, the 2020 Duramax L5P picked up a consistent 89 horsepower over stock. That's 8 horsepower more than we advertised. He says it was actually even easier to install on this one than his 2017. Shh, don't tell that to the 2017 guys. It went on in a snap. All in all, great product, great quality, real-world advertised numbers with zero smoke. But how does he use the truck? The dude pulls a 49-foot race trailer loaded with cars including 2 drag Chevy Novas, 1 gasser, and 1 Duramax with 3 turbos. For our time machine, we cranked up the flux capacitors and traveled all the way back to the groovy year of 1973.
Yeah, baby.
To check out a piece of Banks Marine dominance. After witnessing the success of Banks Marine engines in racing, Lou Burnett brought his triple outboard Jones tunnel boat to Banks for an inboard stern drive conversion based on the famed engines. The result? The newly equipped boat was able to reach speeds in excess of 140 miles per hour, which was wicked fast in '73. The new configuration not only proved extremely powerful and stable, but went on to win the Parker 9-hour Enduro in Arizona and was the APBA Endurance Tunnel National Champion for the next 5 years running. So stay glued to our Facebook and Instagram feeds and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where Gale will soon push the stock Duramax over 900 horsepower in our Killing a Duramax video series. Or he'll just end up painting the walls with parts. So either way, you don't want to miss it. And if you like my little support your local diesel shop hat, you can find it at bankspower.com. You can't find this though.